Mm.
So if children's rights, if children are being taken care of, that means they won't hinder the development of
Mm-hmm.
society.
Yeah.
Then if we are having a problem, maybe let's say with children's health, that means everyone in the society will still doing whatever they're doing, focus on how we can protect or provide a better solution. So children are one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And if children are taking care of their rest quite nicely, there's no malnutrition, means the development will go on.
On the children, yeah. What else? Yeah, just to add on what she already said. For example, we are talking of right to education. We say children are future leaders of tomorrow. So if we don't educate the children, who will be the leaders of tomorrow? We want some people who are educated, who are knowledgeable to run these countries. If we are thinking of innovators, like development starts from that age, that tender age. So we need to mold the kids from that tender age. So for example, if we give them the right to education, they can contribute later in life to development. So the linkage, you can also link it in relation to or to specific rights of the children. Yeah, if they are in good health, they will attend school, like even their development, like personal development will be better if they are taken care of. Yeah, so we need to protect the children's rights. We need to promote their rights because they can contribute to social and economic development. So this connection is critical because the well-being and future of children is deeply influenced by the environment in which they grow up. Their future is influenced by the communities, the environment where they are growing up. Because if we don't protect their right to education, the environment, it's us, like within the community, within the family unit, we are the ones to promote these rights of the children. So the environment also plays part in the well-being and the future of these children, so that in turn they can contribute to development. Yeah, so children's rights, we pay attention to children's rights because of they need special protection, and also due to their vulnerability, they are vulnerable. That's why we pay special attention to children's rights. So the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child was adopted in 1989, which is the most comprehensive framework for children's rights globally. The UNCRC is the framework for children's rights globally. So it outlines key rights that children should enjoy. They outline key points or key rights that children should enjoy, like right to survival and development, right to survival, right to life as well. So children have the right to a standard living adequate to their physical, mental, spiritual, moral, and social development. They have those kind of rights. Right to survive, right to survival. They need food, they need shelter, they need mental growth, physical growth. So is usually the children's rights are promoted by the people who surround them, most of them. If we talk of protection, it means parents, mother, father will be protecting their kids, not themselves. So it also includes access to healthy care, nutrition, shelter. If you're talking of nutrition, the kids, they cannot provide food for themselves. It means you need to take part in raising the kids. Yeah, that's why we say they are vulnerable. They are vulnerable. They need someone to take care of them. Right to protection, I think we already said, from abuse, neglect, exploitation, and violence. Who is to protect the kids? They have that right to be protected. So as social workers, if we see other kids being exploited, uh, being subjected to violence, it's our duty to help these people out, the children. Think of the children in the streets, the street kids. If you think of abuse, neglect, exploitation, violence, these people are usually subjected to all sorts of issues. The issue of child labor, trafficking, recruitment into armed forces, They have the right to be protected from such issues, from being abused. Right to education, right to free primary education, free and compulsory primary education. That's why in most countries we have, because we have adopted this from the UNCRC, the rights of the children. So, like these days, I think there have been issues, more especially in the free primary education. Sometimes the children ask to pay some money to print the exams. Should we still call it free primary education? Because we have seen people dropping out of school. Some kids drop out of school because they cannot pay 1,000 kwacha just to print out an exam. Yeah? Yeah, development. Yeah. But you find in primary school, you have children from very poorest backgrounds and from richest backgrounds. For those people from richest backgrounds, it's easy for them to pay 1,000 kwacha. Even if some of them, they get 500 kwacha every day to school for buying snacks. But there is someone like who is living in a very pathetic conditions and paying 1,000 kwacha. It's not easy for some of the children. If you have been in the rural area, typical rural areas where you find the poorest people, and you think, can these people even manage to pay 1,000 kwacha? They are failing to buy soap to wash their own clothes. So, right to education. So everyone has that right to education, which should be accessible and of good quality. So the quality also matters. And if you look at our education system right now, it favors those who come from a rich background because they are able to pay maybe in the private institutions. Yeah, these days are becoming expensive. 1 million. But during I remember when in first year and second year, we were paying 25,000 kwacha per academic year. And that time we were provided with everything, like food was provided. Yeah, I am. I graduated in 2014. I graduated from Buddha in 2014. Yeah, you see. When you were in Form 2. Oh, yeah. Then, because I graduated in 2014. When you were in standard 8. Yeah. So we are just paying that amount. But that time, other people could not even manage to pay 25,000 kwacha. I think first year, no. First year I paid 25,000 kwacha. Second year, 55,000 kwacha. Third year, 55,000. Until I finished. I think I finished at 55. The next academic year, like the next intake, I think it went up to 100 and something. Yeah. So things changed so drastically. Yeah. And and right now, I think if you pay attention to social media, you find people dropping out of school because in public universities because they cannot pay school fees, and they apply for chair loans. And if you are not picked, what do you do? Some people are quitting school. So they also have right to participation. They need to participate in all matters affecting their lives, in decision making. They need to participate because if you are talking of issues concerning the kids, they shouldn't be part and parcel of those decision making process. I remember there was time we had kids parliament, whatever we used to call it. Parliament, yeah. Me too, I doubt. I haven't heard about it like for a very long time. So they need to participate in matters that affect their lives. They need to express their views. Their views needs to be heard. And they also have right to non-discrimination. They don't need to be discriminated based on either sex, language, religion, political opinion. disability, or any other issues. They have that right. So ensuring these rights means creating an environment that fosters holistic development of children. So if we are talking of development, it also starts from personal development. So it ensures holistic development of the children and allows them to grow up in a safe and a nurturing environment. So as social workers, we need to pay particular attention to the children so that we protect their rights. We should be their advocates, advocating for the rights of the children. Because the rights can be written down there, but like, but in theory, it can be there. What about practical? Don't we find people being exploited? We find people being exploited, more especially the children. These days, you find kids selling eggs when they are supposed to be in schools at a certain age, and they will make them sell the eggs for the whole month, and they pay them 15,000. Yeah, making them house helpers. Kugulisa mazira the whole month, and even the issue of freezes, and they pay them 10,000 a month. Think about how much do they get per day? 300 a day. And they'll be in the market from morning till evening. Yeah. So if we find those people, we need to fight for their rights, because when their rights are being violated, we should think of their development as well. Even for their own lives, the time they're supposed to be in school, it means they have missed out. You find sometimes you find people maybe at a later age, maybe when they grow up, they want to go back to school. And due to their age, they feel like, no, I cannot go back to primary school. It becomes so hard. It's not easy. Ngati akukanika anthu akulu, right? Kupitiriza school. Yeah, so the discourse of rights has been prominent in development cycle in recent years, as bearers of rights are seen as able to make claims with dignity and independence, unlike people with needs who must beg for charity. However, although the League of Nations accepted the Declaration of these rights of the children in 1923, the idea that children must be considered to have rights has remained controversial, even though it has been accepted by different countries. But the rights of the children still remains controversial, because most of these rights, they do not directly exercise these rights. It's someone who has to make sure their rights are protected. You have to protect your children. You have to send them to school. So there have been contradicting ideas. Do these people really have their own rights, like their children, or is just something which is on paper? So there are two distinctive ways of thinking about human rights in relation to children. So the first one is which has roots in rebel Western philosophy that sees individuals as entitled to live their lives as they see fit, provided they do not infringe other people's rights. So the first part is thinking about the children. They should also, just as we say, everyone should exercise their rights freely. Same with children. They need to exercise their own human rights. But if you look at their age, think about the children making their own decisions. Children are considered not mature enough to make their own children. So they say children have not traditionally been accorded rights, as they are not understood to possess the necessary rationality, insights, or capacity to act in their own interests, much as the rights of children are there. But the children have not accorded these rights because they are not mature. They are not capable of making their own decisions, of making rational decisions. So the second argument is that children are considered to need rights which guarantee them certain forms of treatment, such as minimum standards of health care, education, freedom from violence, and cruelty. These rights demand no action on the part of children themselves, but require others to secure the appropriate conditions. So for these ones, they say, even though the rights are there, but they like on the part of action, it's not the children who do the action, it's someone doing it on their own behalf. So the rights demand no action on the part of the children themselves. That's why the first people say it may be, let them exercise their own rights freely as long as they do not infringe other people's rights. But when you consider their capacity to make their own decisions is not there. So the rights of children, they demand no action on the part of the children. So if you are talking of protection, they cannot protect themselves. They need someone to protect their children. If your child gets missing, people put a blame on you, not the children. Even when they acted in a different way, maybe they are rude, whatever, but the blame will go to you because you are supposed to protect the children. So much as these children have been accorded these rights, but it demands no action on their part. Akakhakuti sakupita ku school, the blame will be on you. Mwana sikumpitisa ku school. Why? So the UN Convention on the Rights of a Child is an important legally binding agreement signed by 196 countries as of 2022. The UN Convention on the Rights of Children has been signed by 196 countries, which outlines the fundamental rights of every child, regardless of their race, religion, and abilities, just as I said, the rights that we already discussed. So it's outlined in the UN Convention on the Rights of the Children. Yeah. So every child has rights without discrimination of any kind against the child, parent, or legal guardian. Every child has rights. So whenever we see these children, we should know they have their own rights. So as social workers, we need to fight for the rights of these children. They don't have a voice. We are their voice. We are the voice of the voiceless. Yeah. So we need to speak on their behalf, the children. So it's our mandate as social workers to help them, the children. This is just part of history, right? Yeah. So let's look at social protection programs that support children's rights. Social protection programs that protect children's rights. Which social protection programs do we know that protect human rights or support the children's rights? Social protection programs. Child Health Initiative Trust. What else? Save the children. What does it do? They save the children. Feed the children. What do they do? They have food, they go to school. See. So we have several social protection programs that support children's rights. So cash transfers. You want to say something? Oh, my Bambande. So my Bambande deals with. Also, you are my Bambande now. Who is my Bambande? Yeah. So the first one is cash transfers. These programs provide regular financial assistance to families, helping to alleviate poverty, improve children's access to basic needs such as food, clothing, and education. The cash transfers. Some families in other countries, I don't know if it happens here, I don't think so. They receive cash transfers from the government to support the children's education. So they use this money. The essence is that they use this money to buy their food, clothing, to pay if there is anything to pay to do with their education. Yeah. So just as we have social cash transfers here in Malawi, Initially, the target was families, what do you call it? The poorest families. So initially, they were like the amount you receive was depending on the amount of school children that you have. If you have 3 or 4, they will give you a higher amount than those who have maybe 2 or 3 kids who go to school. So the essence was they use this money to support these kids to buy pencils, pens, if they need an instrument, school uniform, the development funds itself. So that was the essence. Even though these days we've seen people receiving this money, people are getting money. Mtukula Bakomo, eh? People are getting money. I heard some people are even receiving 700,000, some families in the central region. Mtukula Bakomo, not enough. No. It is about to target the poorest. But now the target, I think, like this misallocation of these funds now. Because I heard some people giving examples of people maybe already working and receiving these. And even on a monthly basis, some people are receiving millions. I heard so. 700,000. More especially, I hear more especially in the central region. Is it a deliberate move? Sometimes they say, wow. Now, when they said going out, they have let's say, they call that. Also, I feel like because when they really? Some because when it comes to money, I feel like really because actually, I think they are not working directly in Mafumu. Oh, kuyendelako. Actually, I heard the winner one get. I might not go to the like during the weekend classes. He's working somewhere, so they have their own project. But like people are not participating in that kind of project because there's this other project. I've forgotten the name. People are receiving money. Like akuta mango enda ndichi. Timati chindege yo jambla. Yeah, drone. So they would just count the even in trading centers, they just count the number of the houses in that area. So akuti amakhala ndi makhadi, makhadi ajamupangira, amakango apa amakatowesera. So ayatlo money and amene amapanga initiate kungotumiza ndalama zite. So some people even who are working within that area, they are receiving that kind of money. Yeah, it's not good. Yeah, and unfortunately, in most cases, they don't do monitoring. They do not monitor. They. It's not effective. Because I've seen ladies. They move to real relationship. Serious. People have gone far with making money. Hey, we can't we can't trust anyone. Now we can't trust anyone. Yeah. Yeah, so the conditional cash transfers, for instance, might require families to send their children to school or attend health checkups. So I think I gave an example of the target. Sometimes is the families with children, maybe primary school children. The aim is to help them buy school uniforms, buy food. The second one is child welfare services, which include a range of services designed to ensure the safety and well-being of children. Child welfare services. So examples, child protective services, foster care, adoption services, which help protect children from abuse, neglect, and exploitation. Child welfare services. I'm sure some of us will be working in such departments, helping the children who are being exploited or being abused. The other one is free or subsidized healthy care. Free or subsidized healthy care. Access to healthy care is fundamental right for children. Access to healthy care is a very fundamental right for the children. For them to grow, they need good healthy care. They need good nutrition. Even though, like in our setup, we have so many health centers, like government hospitals, who provide these health care services to children and everyone in general. But in most cases, if you go there, there's no medicine, whatever. And if you go with your child, you stay from morning till evening before you get being helped. Sometimes, so the painful part is they will prescribe the drugs and they'll feel like we don't have go to pharmacy and buy. Oh, so I spent my 2 hours or 4 hours just to be prescribed of the drugs which are not even here. Eh? I know. Some people will be like, you know what? I came here as early as 4 a.m. By 18, even earlier than 5 a.m. Some people will be there as early as 4, 5, 6. Wasiso kulogo babisa kiu chiroko. And imagine like the weather, like how cold it is, and someone would be on the queue with their children, the kids. So, ndiye amrakatachi. You know, right? More especially public hospitals, unlike private hospitals. The only challenge with private hospitals, they are too expensive. Most people cannot manage because, like, majority of our population is poor. Most of them cannot manage to pay for those hospitals. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, for us, we have free healthy care in the public hospitals, even though there is no medicine in most cases. But in other countries, like in terms of, yeah, of course, you like nowadays you find consultation is already 15, 20, just consultation. Lack of resources, I think that's a very big challenge. Lack of resources. Yeah, free consultation indeed. Of course, the only challenge is that they don't have medicine. But I like for kids, public hospitals are better. Because if you go to private hospitals, I'm telling you, a kid is just presenting with cough and some flu, you will get 5 drugs. You see, our atakuti, our vitamin. You see, you have to give your children. Like in public hospitals. Yeah, it is. Oh my goodness, it's not easy. Yeah, because if you ask most mothers, if you say which one is the best hospital, they'll be like, if your kid is sick, maybe go to public hospitals. It's good for kids, you know. Only that the challenge is to have access to meet the doctors is not easy. So programs that provide free or low-cost healthcare services ensures that children receive necessary immunizations. I think the immunizations we receive them for free. Like the moment you are born, you receive a lot of immunizations, treatment for illnesses and preventive care, contributing to the overall well-being and development. On the issue of immunizations, I think maybe we are doing better because almost in all health centers you find more special. I'm not very sure about the very rural areas, typical areas, if they have these immunizations. Because sometimes I'm a good after 9 months, you go there, go to Muzabwereso, Katemero Funigat 6 months or 9 months. One pass after 1 year, 6 months. Because each time you go there, it's not there. Sometimes it happens. That is not Maheke certain town yeah. Sometimes you can't find certain immunizations. Yeah. We have school feeding programs. I think we are aware of this, more especially in primary schools where they are given porridge. The aim is to encourage the children to go to school, even though sometimes they just target the time when they're eating porridge. But in most schools now they are clever. I hear they give the porridge when it's almost close to, yeah, so that everyone should come and participate in the classes. Alipoyambira nkabasa mama ambira nkangobwera kulya and they would leave. Yeah, just eat the porridge and leave. But the aim is to encourage those children to attend classes. Eh? Yeah, more especially those from the rural areas. You know, in most cases, those kids they go to school without anything. And oh, eh? Wow. Lima Gomez. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, so the aim is to improve nutrition status of those children to increase school attendance. Because in the rural areas, like children attend school without taking breakfast. Kumantau ni munana kuchombera atu. Ndisindi nwana. You are 15? Oh. Yeah, so an enhanced learning outcomes. So that's the aim of it. And this support is especially important in regions where children face food insecurity. That's why the target is usually in the rural areas where like the children, they don't take anything. So sometimes even the parents will force their children to attend school so that they can just have something to eat. You know you cannot provide for your children. You'll be like, please, you go there. I don't have anything to offer to you this morning. So the kids will be encouraged to go attend classes. We also have early childhood development programs, which provide children with education, nutrition, and social support services that are crucial for their cognitive and social development, the ECDs programs. Oh, sorry. Yeah. And these programs are designed to lay a strong foundation for lifelong learning and well-being. Even though these days it's like classrooms, but the aim was to enhance. It was like a play center. They should be playing for cognitive development of the children. They should interact. By the time they are starting their schools in standard 1, as it already. Yeah. The other thing is social insurance programs like child allowances, disability benefits, and family allowances, which provide financial assistance to families with children, ensuring that they can meet their basic needs, even during times of crisis or economic hardship. Social insurance. I think we don't have those programs here, like supporting, giving child allowance. Of course, maybe in other schools. No. Do we have programs which support children, providing child allowances? A bursary in secondary schools, yeah. Eh? Amangolibira fees. Disability benefits, but I'm sure to a certain extent we have these programs, some of them. Wow. Eh? Yeah. Oh my. Yeah, so the aim is to ensure that these children meet their basic to meet their children's basic needs. Yeah. What about the stakeholders' role in youth programs? The role of stakeholders in youth programs, like individual groups, organizations. What's their role in youth programs? Yeah, like government, community, family, child organizations, religious organizations. What's their role in youth programs? What role do they play or can they play? Providing, providing financial services, empowering the youth. What else? No, we're talking just youth in general programs, youth programs. The role of stakeholders, like the government. So you should think in line of the government, the family, the community, religious education, youth programs. So what are the role in youth programs? Youth groups. Making policies, more especially the government. Yeah, making and reinforcing the policies. What else? What else do they do? Yeah. So what about the government? Apart from creating and reinforcing policies, rules, what else do they do with the government? Or what else can they do? Like reinforcing those rules and policies which have been created. What else? Is it here? Providing funding. Yeah, funding and overseeing social protective programs. They provide funding, the government, to some of these programs. Ensuring access to quality education, health care, and establishing child welfare systems. What else? Mhm. Covering the well-being of all the youth. Yeah, so they can also coordinate with international organizations, NGOs to implement comprehensive child protection strategies. So they can coordinate different organizations, NGOs, like different stakeholders to work together to help the youth and also the children. Let's have 5 minutes break. Let's see. All of us. Eh? Yeah, so we also have NGOs. What role can NGOs play in youth programs, NGOs? What role can they play in youth programs? They also provide financial services. Yeah, providing funding. What else? Education and healthy, whatever. Providing education and health. What else? The answers are there, guys. Yes, there is awareness. Raising awareness. What else? NGOs also sometimes they just say to ensure that the government is following some of the rules they placed, that our policies, they are following those policies. So they somehow advocate for rights. Or advocating for the rights of the children and the youth. And also they provide small jobs to the youth. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also they work with the communities. Mm-hmm. To ensure that our policies are they are being followed. Make sure their policies are being followed. Yeah. So they have offer specialized support rehabilitation, maybe you are struggling with some issues, maybe mental issues, mental health. And they also work in communities to implement child protection programs. So the NGOs, they offer all such help. They play both roles in youth programs. What about communities and families? What role do they play? Or what role can in youth programs as a family or a community? Creating a supportive environment for the children. What else? Providing care and support. Care and support for the children and the youth. Protecting the children's rights, such as the right to education. But my issues are still fighting. My early marriages, like reporting those people who allow their kids to get married. So, yeah, what else? So, like the family, what about family? Care and support, what else? Protection, making the kids, educating the kids. International organizations. Yeah. What about international organizations? What role do they play? Advocating for children's rights. Advocating for children's rights. Education, healthcare. Financial support. Financial support. You have so much special needs. Yeah, providing helping people with special needs, kids or children with disabilities. Oh, adopting you. Yeah. Like David. Yes. So you also want to get adopted? Yes. Come on, you go. Let's just do something and go by ourselves, not by the to stay. What about private sector? Private. They help with financial organization, could you have viewed whatever they're doing to help them? Providing innovations and trainings. Or providing trainings for the youth. Empowering organizations. Providing funds for them. Yeah. Creating family-friendly workplaces that allow parents to better support their children. So there's a lot that these stakeholders can do. What about youth organizations and advocacy groups? What do they do? Okay. Advocating for social change. You'll be asking, like, there's a lot of advocacy groups. There's somehow you forget to say advocating for the rights. Yeah, advocating for the rights of the children and the youth, or the young people, what else? Supporting each other. Fostering. Foster participation with the youth in, for example, decision-making processes. Yeah, so by collaborating and taking collective action, these stakeholders can create a supportive ecosystem that upholds children's rights. Because these they need to work together. Right? That's why one of the role they government is to coordinate all the stakeholders so that they work together to make sure the children's rights are not violated. Yeah. No. Madam. Why are you rushing to? You came late, you guys. I waited for you for almost 25 minutes. I was alone. But you went on Saturday. What about on Sunday?
They had games. Sunday, yesterday we had games too. Now we
few things that you feel like we need to help each other.
Yes. I missed the topic. That's where we should start from.
You missed the topic.
Yes,
Which
when I went to SA,
yeah.